Buy the beach house, live the dream. So I'm so excited to be doing a driving tour of the iconic Weke Road, which might look like Weke, W-E-K-E Road, but in Hawaiian, W's are pronounced like V's, so it's Weke Road. To me, Weke Road is the most iconic road on the island of Kauai, for sure. And definitely on the North Shore, right? This is the road where the houses on this side right now are on Hanalei Bay, and the houses on this side are on what we call the Mauka side. Now the house directly to my right now is on sale. It is currently listed at $4,400,000. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, super close to the beach. No ocean views, no TVR. A TVR is a vacation license. I've done another video on TVRs and you can watch it. It'll be in the link below. A property either has a TVR or it doesn't, right? So this is not in the VDA, in the visitor destination area. So most of these homes do not have vacation rental licenses. Now, as I go through this drive, you may see little signs that say TVR or TVNC and have a number on them. A house with a TVR, with a vacation rental license, must post it on the road, right? So whether you're walking on Kauai or whether you're watching this video, if you see the little TVR and the number, then you know that house has a vacation rental license. What do you think the price differences are between homes on the sand and homes across the street from the beach? Might vary more than you think it does. Being on the sand is pretty valuable. But we have had some record highs, and I'm excited to get into the details about Weke Road. Now, what I'm passing by right now on my right, this is all county property. And for a long time, this property just had what we refer to as the Hanalei courthouse on it, but they're building a station for both the lifeguards and the firefighters so that they'll have a place in Hanalei. Now the house we're passing right now on the right, I won't disclose the owner, but he is my favorite Hollywood writer. I love everything he does. So I'll leave it at that. So we're passing some houses that, like this one, it has a front house and then you look in the back and it has a back house, right? So a lot of the larger lots in Hanalei, people have built ADUs or additional dwelling units. And sometimes one house will have a vacation license and the other one won't. Sometimes they both do, sometimes neither of them do. Now this house is currently the most expensive home listed on the Mauka side, which is not the ocean side. The Makai side would be the ocean side, right? This is the Mauka side. It's listed for about $24 million. Now this house that I'm pausing at currently holds the record for the highest price home sold on the Mauka side. Now this is an iconic Hanalei house. It's called the Bounty House. You know, it was kind of a famous house in Hanalei, and it came on the market for $6,750,000, and it sold for $6,885,000 cash. They got an offer about the day it came on the market. So that was definitely a high. Sometimes you'll read online and people will say stuff like, oh my gosh, there's so many homes for sale in Hanalei. That's almost never accurate. Right now there are about 3. I think people confuse the TVR signage with a for sale sign because they just don't really know what it means, right? But that's not the case. There are not that many homes for sale in Hanalei. And homes in Hanalei, generally speaking, do not trade hands very often, right? A lot of these houses that you see in these old Hawaiian plantation homes, a lot of them have never sold, and some of them maybe it sold once, maybe twice, but that's about it, right? If you are lucky enough to get in Hanalei, and even above that to get on Weke Road, you know, these are not motivated sellers. I'll name it at that. Now this road we're passing right here, Aku, this is the way most people come in from the Kuhio Highway into Hanalei when they're going to the beach, right? And if you were going to go to the pier or to Black Pot, you would go right down this road that we're going down right now. And so some of these homes have been on the market and have sold, and we'll get through those. This yellow house on the corner here, it does go on and off the market quite a bit. The owner is an unmotivated owner, but if you wanted to buy it, he is a seller. Or sorry, he's an unmotivated seller, but if you wanted to buy it, he is a seller. Now this house, 9051, this was one of the last ones that sold on this road, and it sold for $6,595,000, and it has a view of Hanalei Bay even though it's on the Mauka side. Right now this one, 5075, also sold for $5,600,000. It also has a view of Hanalei Bay, not as good as the one that sold for $6,595,000, but still a nice view. So the area that we're in now, the housing isn't quite as dense, right? And in fact, this property that I'm now passing is such an amazing, beautiful, iconic property. It is still owned by one of our original Kauai families. It does have a vacation rental license, so it can be rented. And they also own all the land in front of it on the ocean side. Because I'm a realtor, when I drive by, I think, what would it take? You know, they're not sellers. What's an offer they couldn't refuse? And sometimes I think, I don't know, 200 million. It would be a big number, whatever it is. Now we're passing a little enclave, and you can see these 3 TVR numbers. So there's 3 homes in here. They all have TVR licenses, vacation rental licenses. And this to me is, for a beach house, this is a real iconic part of even Weke Road. Now in 2018, we had about 51 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. And so Hanalei did flood, the river overflew, and it washed, like this house I'm driving past now underneath. So it's all washed out. And when that happened, they came in and they created a much larger parking lot like the one you're seeing now, and more parking, right? They put in new bathrooms. The parking lot by the pier is by far the largest parking lot in Hanalei, and it's just a great place to hang out at the beach. So I definitely recommend it for people who are beach goers. Now when the flood did happen, it did wash away a couple homes. A couple homes had to be scraped, right? Now this one right here on my right did not. It survived. This next one, this white one that you can see, this back house survived, the front house did not. The back house with the land and lot in front of it sold, and it sold for $9,500,000, which honestly, this little back house is a TVR. That was a very good deal. This next house that we're passing, this one sold for $32,250,000, right? It's a great house. This is a really special spot on the bay, right? Because you're close to the pier, which is really fun. You're close to the river. It's still walkable to restaurants. It's kind of the quieter part of the bay. And these houses right here are they're these iconic Hawaiian plantation homes. And one that we just passed was used in the movie The Descendants. The actor whose character was having an affair with George Clooney's wife stayed in that one, and George Clooney ran up and knocked on his door. Now we're passing this large land that's owned by the Kauai family that I mentioned earlier. There currently aren't any homes on it, but man, it would be a beautiful spot for some. Most of these homes that we're passing right now do have vacation rental licenses, right? These ones with the green tops. Now we're gonna pass one that's like a light blue. This is one of the newest homes built on Hanalei. It was purchased by the guy who started Oakley and with the two other homes and a lot, and sold, and then he built this home, which he still owns, but I think it will be transacting changing ownership shortly. Right, so there are, as you see here, a handful of lots on Weke Road that are still available. It is super rare. I mean, it's super rare for them to be bought and sold, but once in a while there is a lucky person. So this is what we call pavilions, or the pavilion parking lot, right? This is also a great spot. There is, if safety is a concern for you, there is a lifeguard at this spot. So if you wanted your kids to just swim where there's a lifeguard, that would be a good one. Now we're going to be passing a house 5156. So this is kind of one of the last big homes that sold on the sand. It's two houses, right? They have a front house and a back house, and it sold for $21 million cash. No vacation rental licenses, right? So two houses that you can use as you want to use, long-term rent it, live in it, friends and family, no short-term rentals, right? The next home on the Kauai side, or on the ocean side, that sold, 5204. This was owned by the Faya family. They had to sell it during the financial crisis in 2008. Julia Roberts bought it as an investment. She owned it for a few years, then she sold it to Mike Fleiss, who was the creator of The Bachelor. He lived in it with his wife Laura for a few years, and now it has a new owner, right? So every once in a while you will find a house that has transacted a handful of times, but usually it's homes with newer owners and not kind of more of a family legacy property. One of the last houses left that we have to talk about is one of my favorites, one that I was hoping to buy myself. I was just, I don't know, 15 million short. But this house has a double wide lot. It's on the Kauai side. It has two homes. There's room for a third. Both homes have TVRs, and one of the lots was once owned by an ancestor of mine that lived in Hanalei. So it's sentimental to me. It's often referred to as the hospital house because the original home was built for a doctor. You can tell the old bedrooms were rooms that this is the house right here. People would come and stay with him in his home as he cared for them. And it was the first doctor on the North Shore of Kauai. Now, this house right here on the corner is for sale, and it needs a lot of work, but man, you are close to the water. 5404, and it is listed at $4,500,000, right? It's probably the closest you're going to get to the water at that price point from here moving forward. So if you have time and energy and you can do a project, that's not a bad gig. I mean, to me, Hanalei Bay, it really is like the most beautiful place in the world. And Weke Road is one of those special, beautiful places right along with Hanalei. To live in Hanalei is the dream. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Of course, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. All right, aloha.